Whoa, 6.1. What happened here, Ms. Friedman? I don't know. I'll write something in. Don't worry, guys. I got this under control. Roots and radicals. So first, when we're talking about roots and radicals, this right here is called a radical sign. This number right here is your index. This is a radicand. I will just say the number that you're taking the radical of. I probably will never use that word, but I will say radical. I will say index on a regular basis. So you have to know that vocab words. When you are looking at real roots, so we've talked about imaginary roots. We're not going to deal with imaginary roots right now. We're talking about real roots. When you have an index that is 3, you can take the negative of it. So when you're looking at your graphing calculator, I can go and do math. So if you push this math button, and right here is the cubic root. So if I go to cubic root, in this case, we're looking at -8. You have to make sure to push your negative sign down here, 8. Then my answer would be -2. This is equal to -2. Square root of 0.04. So if I go, here's my square root. If I go second, x squared, 0.04 will be 0.2. So I'm looking for real roots. Fourth root, same thing as before. You go to your math. In this case, there's a fifth row. In my calculator, I get a box. If your calculator doesn't get a box, you would want to clear out, type in the 4 first, because that's my index here. My index is 4. Type in the 4 first, then go to math. So now that's my index of -1. It says there's no non-real answers. Look at that. It's telling us already there are no real answers. That's what it's saying. This is going to be a no solution because I'm just looking for real answers. You can't take a negative number and have an even root here. If you have an even index, if you have an even index, you can't have a negative root. This right here actually was this number. This is a little bit different. Now I can do this first. I can take the square root. -2 squared will give me 4. Now the square root of 4 is 2. So I'm just working with one answer. Remember when we had this, when we're solving and we had 2 answers here? Now we don't have a variable. So I'm just working with one answer, simplifying as we go. So I want you to try to do these in your calculator right now and see what you get at. So pause and try to do them by yourself. This one you should have gotten a -3. Here, because this is an even root, an even index, you cannot have a negative root. Even index, negative root. We can't do that. Here, -7 squared is 49. Square root of 49 is 7. If there's no number here, there's always like a 2. No number is like a 2. I cannot take the square root of a negative, so again, no solution. So if I'm simplifying these, I'm going to be looking at my groups. If I'm going to do this first one in a long way, so I have 4 times 4, 2 times 2, 2 times 2. Whatever your index is, you're looking for groups of that many. So here's a group of 2, and here's a group of 2. So I can take out 2 times 2. Both of those leave that radical. If I have a group of 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here's a group of 2. 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 So I have 4 groups of 2. So I have x to the 4th. Another way that you could think about this, so this is like the long way of doing it, is the square root of 16 is 4. If you know I have the butt, go for it. My index here is 2 if there's no number. You're trying to think of how many 2's can fit into 8. Well, there's 4 2's in 8, or 8 divided by 2 would give me 4. Here my index is 3. So again, you could write it out, but that's going to take a long time. So you're thinking, how many of 3's can fit into 6? There are 2 3's that you can fit into 6. How many 3's can you fit into 9? There are 3 3's you can fit into 9. I want you to try to do the rest of these by yourself. So pause and do the rest. How many 4's can go into 8? With 2. How many 4's can go into 12? 3. Again, no number. This is a square root. Square root of 81 is 9. And there are 2 groups in x to the 4th, so x squared. How many groups of 3 in the 12? Would be 4. How many groups of 3 in 15? Would be 5. And last, how many groups of 4 and 12 would be 3. How many groups of 4 and 16 would be 4. And that's it. That's talking about real roots and radicals. Index, radical, no number, square root. Have a great day.